Keynote by Honorable Dr. Malcolm Paul Agius Galea.
First of all, we're speaking about the elderly. Most people do not relate the elderly with advanced technology. Well, we might be partially right. But in particular, when it comes to management, and I'm not saying treatment, but management of the elderly, technology comes in, and it's actually the future. First of all, what's our aim? What's our vision? Because it's futile if we speak about technology and it doesn't tally with our vision. Our vision is to have more elderlies residing in elderly homes, being institutionalized. No, definitely not. If we become elderly ourselves, where would we like to be? I'd like to stay within my own community, having all the necessary help, so that if I do have a lot of difficulties, at least I will make my life still independent. That's what I would like to have, independence. Not only mental independence, but physical independence. So I would like to stay within my own environment. And that's our vision, to keep our elderly within the community. What are we looking at? What are we doing, and what are we looking at? One of the most important and key things that we've got in Malta is the telecare, which is basically a telephone system where it is just a push of a button, and when you push the button in an emergency, someone will speak to you and basically will tell you what's wrong, and you can speak directly and you seek help. Besides, we've got also telecare on the move, which is a fob. It's meant for demented persons as well, who are still within the early periods of dementia. And it has also got a geo-location within it, so basically you'll know when the person is wandering off, well, the safe environment. And they're both, at the moment, they're both being used. And they're both being offered for free as well to the very elderlies. At the moment, over 80s. But they're also available to other people, their elderlies, over 60s, at a very, very small fee. We look forward. At the moment, the government is investing heavily in providing carers to the elderlies in their homes. But till now, it does work. Mostly because we have a good resource of carers, foreign people who are coming over to Malta to work as carers. But obviously, that resource is not limited, is not unlimited. Besides, even the buildings themselves, most people now, when they grow up, they're decreasing their households. What does it have to do with this? Having a small household and having a completely different person, a stranger living with you, it's quite a big infringement on your privacy. And that's quite a bit of a headache as well, because yes, you're pushing the elderly person to remain independent, you're keeping them independent within their own communities, but yet you're not keeping them independent within their own homes. So where's the independence within this particular thing? So there's the challenge. And that's where technology comes in. We did look around, and there's this Dutch model where they're using smart homes. The use of AI to monitor the homes and monitor the elderly themselves, staying within the homes, no need for any personnel, and basically you'll be monitoring them real time. That's one of the things which we're at the moment working on in conjunction with the University of Malta, and we're going to keep on pushing in order to get these systems going. Besides, we do have our own elderly homes. Particularly, I'm going to speak about St. Vincent de Paul long-term residence. I don't like really to mention it as a long-term residence because at the moment we're going to transform it into a complex. Why? There's the long-term care, but we're using other forms and modalities of care, particularly intermediate care as well, which is coming up. And intermediate care is the step in between acute care, which is the hospital, and the primary care, which is in the community. It's somewhere in between. So the elderly people who are suffering from particular diseases, which they do not need an acute hospital setting, but they need more advanced care, and we can admit them directly to SVP, treat them, have a long-term plan, and then they'll be discharged back in the community. And in order we're doing this because what's the problem mostly with the elderly care? Elderly care is not really about the acute care itself. One of the biggest issues that we meet is that when you have the elderly person and he goes to hospital, he tends to come out with either a pressure sore, unfortunately, incontinent, and using a stick, which to us, although he's cured, is definitely not well managed at all. So what we're doing is, at SVP, we're using a patient-centered approach, an elderly-centered approach. And that's, again, where technology comes in. Particularly, we're investing heavily in our occupational therapy department. At the moment, we've got a particular pressure mattress. Yes, where the elderly sits on this mattress and will just be noticing at that point in time, real time, the pressures that he's exerting, so that we'll be able to know his likelihood for pressure sores, which are a very, very big problem in the elderly care, particularly in patients who do suffer from diabetes, which in Malta we've got a very, very high incidence. Secondly, we're also investing heavily in, how do you say, gadgets? Yes, I was just speaking to Dr. Dillon. And at the OT department within SVP, we're having these occupational therapists who, out of their own initiative, they're actually even trying to help. For example, they're using these gloves, and they're devising new gloves. They're doing it themselves. When you see it, you'll be amazed. Themselves. Using pressure sensors, so that they'll be knowing that when someone is doing some sort of movement, they'll be measuring that movement itself. And they'll know how the patient is improving. Besides, we're also exploring the facts about geotagging, not just simply for geofencing, but monitoring the parameters, blood pressure, the blood sugar, and most importantly, even the medications. Why? In the administration of medication, there's a very big room for human error, which can be catastrophic. So trying to eliminate the human part in the administration of medications is key. It's key to the safety of our management. Especially most elderly people do not know what kind of medications they're having. And when you ask, and they will tell you, listen, I've got this white tablet, this other white tablet, and this other pink tablet. Okay. What's that? I don't know. So basically, when you have them logged in within your own wristbands, that would eliminate the human error. In conclusion, yes, in the elderly care, particularly medical care, we've got a lot of opportunities for technology to come in. I didn't go into the preventive measures, preventive medicine, which is really, really important, but I don't have the time. So, yes, I would like that you as investors, yes, even if you're going to do pilot studies, we are more than happy to host. We've got a nice population, a nice cohort of people living in the community, people living in our own elderly homes, and which we can help. Yes, we can help humanity in itself, but also help our beloved elderly, which I firmly believe that is, at the end of the day, what the purpose of technology is and MedTech is, to help all of mankind, particularly the patients who are at the moment in their most vulnerable state. Thank you.